Well, in January of this year, Amazon followed Google and Apple and egged on by Facebook and Twitter and used or misused a business agreement to unplug several servers that were being rented by a social platform of 2.2 million people called Parler. This week, we wanted to investigate if this was truly an otherwise victimless crime, as they say. Was the only company hurt by this organization attack Parler? Or were there some innocents that were also digitally murdered through Amazon's use or abuse of an agreement with Parler? To help us understand this more, we have joining us tonight one of the victims, the founder of RML Business Consulting, who happens to be an expert in the fields of privacy and technology security, Mr. Rex M. Lee. Let's bring you into the studio now. Rex, how's it going? It's good to have you here.
Great, Jay. Thank you for having me on your show.
It's good to have you here. Hey, listen, Rex, on the show, we always start every interview. There was a famous French philosopher. His name was Bernard Pivot. I slaughter his last name. I think I pronounce it wrong every single time. But he used to ask people 10 questions, the same 10 questions. And what I do with interviews, I started off, now we're a nonprofit, so we can't afford all 10. So we can do 4.5, right? So this is a modified and heavily redacted set of Bernard Pivot's questions. So the first one, Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek.
There you go. Go ahead.
I was just going to add, a good friend of mine showed me the difference between Star Trek and Star Wars. Star Wars, mysticism. Star Trek, culture.
I like it. That's pretty good. What is your favorite number?
10.
10. Good. And what profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
I was a budding actor in the 80s, and that would be a fun profession to attempt.
Yeah, you were in a movie, right? A TV show?
Yeah, actually, I did some commercials, and I was a bit player in Legend of Billie Jean with Christian Slater, Helen Slater, and Dean Stockwell and Peter Coyote. It had a pretty good cast in it.
Yeah, so. Yeah. What is your favorite flavor?
Chocolate, without a doubt.
There you go. And now this is the half question, so don't let it throw you. I got to stop halfway through, but the question starts, who would you like to?
Who would I like to have met? I would like to have met Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan. Okay, very good. All right, Rex M. Lee, successful new tech startups, Fortune 500 enterprise sales, device and data security expert with over 35 years of experience. You are now starting up cybertalktv.tv. Lots going on, and your business was crushed by FANG in a day. Did they mess with the wrong guy?
Yeah, for your audience, if you want a little bit of background on me, I'm also a freelance tech journalist, and you can review my articles I've written for the Epoch Times. I wrote almost 20 articles on tech for the Epoch Times, which is relevant to what I believe, was the digital genocide of my business. So if you Google Rex M. Lee and Epoch Times, you can pull up my author page and read the tech articles that I have written, which all are relevant to this story as well.
So tell me about the run-up to January of this year. You had all of the success going, things were going well. What was going on for RML Business Consulting at the time?
Let me rewind back to about July of last year. I started beta testing a new format for articles. So I've written a lot of articles, not just for the Epoch Times, but also MissionCritical Communications magazine, the Vision Times out of Australia, Money Masters, and so forth. And so I came up with a new concept for articles, which is videocast articles. So I was taking what is basically a print article with a lot of research, a lot of time that I put into my articles, and then I formatted them into a visual media that I was canning and then rebroadcasting on social media. And the first run of this was Cyber Talk USA. It's defunct now, not to be confused with Cyber Talk TV, but Cyber Talk USA was the first run at this. So I beta tested the format from July to October of last year, and I finally got the right formula together in terms of time, length, and subject matter. And I started collecting a lot of views. Well, about August, I was
How many views?
I was
it, when you say a lot, what's a lot?
Yeah, let me get to that real quickly. In August, I was running the beta testing on mainly Twitter, and then suddenly I was my account was suspended because Twitter said I was violating their rules as if I were a bot. And we'll circle back to this. Well, a few months went by and my account still was not unsuspended because I kept contacting their customer service to tell them I'm a journalist, not a bot. I'm a journalist. Check my articles out. They're non-political, have nothing to do with Trump or anything like that. And then that downtime forced me into exploring other social media platforms. So I decided to put my video cast articles onto Parler, as well as LinkedIn and some other social media sites. And I had a lot of success. In October, I started seeing not hundreds, but thousands of views per video cast article.
Wow.
And so that told me and the reason I was doing this, Jay, is because I wanted to monetize the format, and I wanted to monetize. This was before I thought of it really doing a talk show, but monetize my video cast articles.
Right. So a lot of success. It started growing. Parler turned into something pretty big for you. What happened on January 8th of this year?
Well, between, again, I'm going to rewind real quick. From October to January, I built a following between LinkedIn, Parler, and Vimeo. So my articles were housed on Vimeo, and my Parler was driving about 75% of the views, maybe more. And my views went from a few hundred to a few thousand to I had upwards of 16,000 plus views per video cast article. Now, I over that period of time, I produced about 15 or so articles, and I was running them on all the social media platforms. At my apex, I had over 70,000 incremental viewers of my articles, and they were viewing more than one article. They liked them, obviously, and my views on Vimeo were going north of 250,000 views. So I was able to capture in a short period of time about 75,000 plus incremental viewers who are viewing multiple views of my video cast articles, exceeding over upwards of 250,000 views.
You brought a graph with you, is that correct?
Yes, I did. Let me go ahead and I'll pop that up. And I'm not just going to talk about the numbers. I'm going to show the actual analytics from. Can you see that, Jay?
Oh yeah, we're seeing it.
Okay, so these are my Vimeo analytics, and so this was October, November, December, January, and this is just a couple of. I was only able to check off just a few of the videos, but this shows you that the activity was huge. I was getting in one day. These are incremental days. I was getting 2,000-3,000 is upwards of 3,000 on a single post. That's a single post driving that type of number. So I was getting outrageous numbers on during that period of time.
And then January 8th came, and I'm seeing to the right just flat line.
January 6th hit about here, and I was smoking it here. This is about the time I knew I could monetize the show. And then all of a sudden, this was about the 6th, and then after Amazon cut the feed, it wasn't so much the app being blocked in Apple and Google, in the Apple App Store and Google Play that hurt me. It was when Amazon cut the feed to Parler, which flatlined my show. And now, again, there was no organizing of violence at the Capitol on my show. My show isn't even about politics. There's no Trump, no pro-Trump, none of that nonsense.
Yeah, to be clear,
my articles are just strictly tech. They're tech-based articles, cybersecurity, privacy, child and consumer protection and so forth. That's the message that my show brings to the marketplace.
Yeah, your content is not political at all. It's dealing with cybersecurity. Now, it's unfavorable to some of these big tech giants. They don't like it, right?
Right. Because I tell the truth about tech, and
right.
privacy.
But you're not QAnon or anything like that, right?
No, far from it. I'm actually I'm a libertarian, a conservative libertarian. I voted for both Biden and Obama back in the day, and I voted for Trump. I'm an independent. I'll vote for whoever I think is the best candidate.
So let's set the stage here. So your business is doing great, things are doing great. Parler gets shut down. Now, the reason Parler got shut down wasn't because of Rex Lee. Parler got shut down because I think like one person was saying something that Amazon didn't like. Well, that's the reason that they gave.
Well,
right?
they gave. I did a video cast article on this subject matter showing that it was more about antitrust than it was about safety and security. The fact is, on January 6th in the evening, CNN ran a report on where the social media sites that the violence and organization were on, and the majority of it, according to CNN, not exactly the most conservative news outlet out there, according to them, most of it was on Twitter and TikTok and Facebook. Why? Because that's where Donald Trump had his accounts. He didn't have a Parler account. He had upwards of if you aggregate all the viewers on all of his social media, he had upwards of 80 million viewers on all three, or followers on all three social media sites. So that's where the organization was taking place, was on those platforms, yet they were not deplatformed along with Parler, when Parler was just an excuse. And I believe this is my opinion only, but I believe it had something to do with the fact that Twitter had a major competitor on the scene, and this was a perfect excuse to wipe one of their competitors out. That's just my opinion.
So let's go with this. So AWS, for competitive reasons, might have taken out Parler, but they had to have been aware that they would take out hundreds of other businesses by doing that.
No, nobody's focused on that. And I think there's an antitrust lawsuit. I'll put it to you this way. It'd be like JCPenney at the local mall violating the terms of their electrical contracts with the electrical company. So the electric company shuts the electric off to the entire mall rather than just JCPenney, taking out all the other vendors who have nothing to do with the JCPenney issue with the electrical company, but yet they all suffered and are put out of business as a result of a dispute between JCPenney and the electrical company. Well, that was the dispute between Amazon AWS and Parler. It had nothing to do with the people who were monetizing Parler, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Gab, any social media outlet. There's people who have social media accounts with all of these companies who are making a living selling their products and services that were damaged as a result of Amazon's politics.
Now, at the Privacy Co-op, we have affiliates that are small businesses and medium range businesses. We have some larger ones too, but that we heard from some folks that were just like you. They were driving, traffic to their websites through the various social media sites. And when this one went down, it impacted them hugely in a big way. But, the biggest criticism that I've heard from folks when we start talking about this subject, they say, well, look, maybe they just showed up at the wrong party. Maybe instead of going to Parlay, they should have been on Twitter. But that wasn't an option for you, right?
No, I'm going to show you another slide. In August, I brought this up a little bit earlier. The reason I went to Parler, I was trying to patronize Twitter. I would have been buying advertising on Twitter, promoting my show, being a good customer to Twitter, but Twitter didn't see me that way. I don't know if it was the content of my articles that I wrote for the Epoch Times, my association with the Epoch Times, who've been repeatedly banned by other social media platforms such as YouTube and Google and so forth, or not banned, but censored. I would say more censored, not banned. But what was happening on Twitter was I kept getting this notice and my account would be suspended. It says my account exhibited automated behavior that violates Twitter rules. So basically what they were saying is that I look like a bot and that my tweets were automated. I don't know how 5 or 15 or 20 tweets a day is automated behavior. B, they know I'm a journalist. All they have to do is look up my account and my author page at Epoch Times, because my Epoch Times author page was on my account right there out in my profile. So they knew I was a journalist, yet they suspended my account. I wrote them. They told me it was because it was automated behavior. They would look into it, but it was 4 months had gone by and I still wasn't up. So I was literally forced to go to Parler because of this, what I call censorship by nebulous terms and conditions. They're not evenly applied to everybody. And this is the content that I was posting on Twitter, my Epoch Times articles, my Vision Times articles, Mission Critical, and my new video cast articles, which this was my last tweet that I was able to catch a screenshot of on or about the August 5th when I got suspended. You can see that this tweet has nothing to do with politics, but it was a video cast article I did regarding a trade show I spoke at, which showed me speaking at the trade show through a virtual trade show, which was recorded. And I was talking about the terms of use that support social media platforms, apps, and so forth that support smartphones. That was the topic. And that's what tripped them off. And they, next thing you know, I was suspended for over, I think it took me almost 4 or 5 months to get my account back at Twitter. I'm there, but I don't post right now.
So in the 30 seconds we have left here, have you recovered?
No, not at all. It flatlined my business. I have since relaunched my business through IBM TV, which is now Pod TV, and thankful to them. We've been highly successful to them through an aggregate views. We've had almost 1 million views, but I haven't been able to monetize it. And then they switched to Pod TV. So basically, I've had to go up and down, and I have not recovered enough to get enough analytics back on Vimeo to go out and monetize my business. Here you can clearly see that I could have monetized at any time on Vimeo with these type of numbers.
Yeah.
But
Rex,
I'm dead. So.
This is a hard story to hear. It's a hard story to tell, but it's necessary for us to tell it. I want you to thank you for coming in tonight and sharing this information with us.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you for having me on. This has been very insightful. Thank you.
Have a good one.